day, everyone! Welcome to my vlog. By the way, I'm Maria Annalisa Aldaya, your vlogger for today. So for today's video, I am going to discuss about different art expression in relation to our subject in GE6, which is art appreciation. But before that, let us first define art. What is art? There are two assumptions about art. Number one, art is universal. Art is universal in a way that it fulfills a great need of human consciousness, which is to bring his ideas down to perceptual level. Number two assumption, art is not nature. Art is not nature because in many ways, art is not natural. If art is nature, then everything is nature. It is an artificial construct created by man. Art is the creativity of a person, his or her ability to create something beautiful, a masterpiece that is known within the areas of art. Now that we've discussed the definition of art, let us proceed to the different art expression. There are 9 different art expression, and these are visual art, film, literary art, poetry performance, performance art, architecture, dance, theater, and applied art. Today I will be discussing 4 art expression, and I choose visual art, dance, architecture, and poetry performance. So let's start with the visual art. Visual art are art forms that create works that are primarily visual in nature, such as ceramics, drawing, painting, sculpture, printmaking, design, crafts, photography, video, filmmaking, and architecture. For copyright purposes, visual arts are original pictorial, graphic, and sculptural works which include two-dimensional and three-dimensional works of fine and graphic and applied art. Visual art can be modeled, curved, and constructed. It can be created from sculptural materials like clay, wax, plaster, wood, stone, concrete, cast and constructed metal, plastics, resins, glass, and mixed media. An example of visual art is the famous work of Leonardo da Vinci, the Mona Lisa. It is a half-length portrait painting by Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci. It has been described as the best known, the most visited, the most written about, and the most sang about, the most parodied work of art in the world. Next is poetry performance. Poetry performance is a style of writing that uses a formal organization and that is often divided up into lines or stanzas, or it refers to something beautiful. It is a broad term encompassing a variety of styles and genres. It is an art form where the artist expresses his emotions not by using paint, charcoal, and camera, but expresses them through words. These works are carefully selected to exhibit clarity and beauty and to stimulate strong emotions or joy, anger, love, sorrow, and the list goes on. It uses our words, emotional, musical, and spatial values that goes beyond its literal meaning. Tolerate, emphasize, argue, or convince. These words combined with movements, tone, volume, and intensity of the delivery add to the artistic value of the poem. An example of poetry is the work of Robert Frost, a famous American poet. And now let's discuss about dance. Dance is a series of movements that follows the system of the music accompaniment. It has been an age-old debate whether dance can really be considered an art form. But here, we primarily describe dance as a form of expression. Dancing is a creative form that allows people to freely express themselves. It has no rules. You may say that choreography doesn't allow this, but in art expression, dancers are not confined to set steps and rules, but are free to create and invent their own movements as long as they deem them graceful and beautiful. The best example for this is hip-hop. There are a lot of examples such as ballet, ballroom, contemporary, jazz, tap dance, folk dance, Irish dance, modern dance, and swing dance. And the last art expression that we are going to discuss is architecture. Architecture is both the process and the product of planning, designing, and constructing building and other structures. Architectural works in the material form of buildings are often perceived as cultural symbols and as works of art. Historical civilizations are often identified with their surviving architectural achievements. For this reason, architecture is considered to be a form of art. Texts on architecture have been written since ancient time. An example of architecture is the work of Antoni Gaudi. Gaudi spent his entire career in Barcelona, where he built all of his projects, the most famous of which is the 1883 cathedral known as La Sagrada Familia, still under construction today. His style was an ornate mix of Baroque, Gothic, Moorish, and Victorian elements that often featured ornamental tile work and drew upon forms found in nature, an influence that can be seen in the tree-like columns holding up the vast interior of his church, as well as the undulating facade of another of her creations. And that's all for my discussion. I hope that you learned something today. Once again, I'm Maria Annalisa Aldaya. Thank you for watching and bye!